What is up? Welcome to Driftin into Freedom. As you can see, today I am changing it up a little bit. I am actually house sitting today, so I figured it's such a beautiful day, so why not just do something different and hang out outside. If you have been enjoying the content that I've been creating, please, if you could, leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, because all of this helps with the algorithm and I want to keep bringing you guys some content. So thank you very much. So I'm taking a little bit of a break from traveling. I did a little blind spending, if you will, last year. And if you aren't aware, I have actually been on my F.I.R.E journey now for a little over 7 years now. So I really want to focus my attention on the F.I.R.E journey. It's something that I kind of sort of been doing in the background. So I want to be able to take the money that I get and reinvest that money. And traveling took a lot of that money from that goal. So that's why you're not seeing me travel. But I wanted to share this with you because this is just something that I've been doing and I think is really important. Investing is a very important, especially if you want to get to financial freedom. As you can see with the economy, we ain't doing too good with inflation eating at our pockets. And so investing is one of the ways to grow your wealth. And it's one of the things that I've been focusing on for several years. Just recently, I was having a conversation with one of my family members. So this particular family member retired about a year or two ago, and they ended up having to go back to work. And one of the reasons why they ended up having to go back to work was because of a medical issue. And obviously because they didn't have enough money saved in their retirement. And this is something that I come across a lot when I'm having conversations with people, is not having enough money saved for retirement. And so today, whether you're retiring this year or in the years to come, I really want to focus on how to calculate to see how much money you need in order to retire. So let's get to it. At some point, I know we are all looking to retire and go drive off into the sunset. But sadly, too many people that I know or I come across, well, they don't know how much money they have or need in their retirement. So what ends up happening, such as my family member, they think they have X amount in a pension or X amount in this 401k, and you go to retire and then all of a sudden there's something that generally happens and then that person ends up going to work. So again, we want to avoid this, and this is why this topic is so important. Looks like we got some company, y'all. If you're not familiar with the F.I.R.E plan, basically it stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. But in order for us to retire early, first we have to know our F.I.R.E number so that we have enough money for our retirement. And to do this, we need to calculate the F.I.R.E number. So you might be asking yourself, what is the F.I.R.E number? Generally, to get your F.I.R.E number, you take your annual expense times 25, which is going to give you your retirement savings estimate. Let's say that you wanted to live off of $50,000 a year during your retirement. You would take $50,000 times 25, and this is going to give you your F.I.R.E number, which in this case is a little over $1 million. Now, there's another rule that we have to follow, and that's the 4% rule. The 4% rule basically is when you save up enough money, and at that point, you would only withdraw 4% of your savings each year during your retirement. This way you won't run out of any money. So whether you're working on your early retirement or just working on retirement in general, it's very important to know how much money you are going to need to save up. This way you have enough money so that you can go retire on your island peacefully and never have to return back to corporate America ever again, if you know what I mean. According to CNBC, the U.S. average for retirement expenses is $835,453 for 25 years and $1,003,548 for 30 years. So in this case, in order for me to live comfortably in the U.S., based on the 4% rule, I would need over $33,000 a year in order to retire. Now, of course, I don't plan on living in the US, so my expenses are gonna be a little bit on the cheaper side, which is one of the reasons why I would like to move. I'm looking at free healthcare. I'm looking at that, rent being cheaper, possibly buying a house, so. And when you're planning out your FIRE number, obviously these are some of the things that you want to start planning. So this way you have an idea of how your overall expenses are going to average out on an annual basis. Now, I'm also hoping to get multiple residents in a few tax-friendly countries such as Malaysia, Portugal, and Malta, as well as the UAE at some point as well. So not only am I looking at places in terms of tax-friendly places, but I'm also looking at healthcare. I'm looking at safety. These are some of the things that are basically going to help me to determine my overall lifestyle as well as my expenses. Plus, the US taxes are kind of high. Although I don't know if I'm going to renounce my citizenship, but that's another video for another day. But believe me, I'm trying to cut costs when it comes down to taxes, food, healthcare, and really that's going to help me to make my decision. So since my overall goal is to move outside of the US, let's focus on calculating my FIRE plan. So since I'm going to be moving outside the US, my FIRE goal is going to be $25,000 annually a year. So that's about $2,083 a month, which means in order for me to completely walk away from corporate America, I'm gonna need over $625,000 in order for me to meet my FIRE number. And yes, it may not sound like a lot of money, but you have to remember things outside the US are a whole lot cheaper. So we're gonna explore that a little bit further, shall we? Let's take a look at Malaysia. If I were to move to a place like Malaysia, the average cost of living for a single person is about $482.90. Now, of course, this does not include rent, but overall, not bad. But I've been checking on some of those rent prices, y'all, and oh my goodness, it is way cheaper than the US. So we're gonna check out places to rent on the Malaysia website called iProperty. As you can see, most of these places on here are fully furnished, which is not bad. Now, of course, when we look at the prices, we're gonna take some of these prices and convert it. But first, let's look and see. We have a 600 square foot, fully furnished place. Let's look at some of these pictures. Not bad. And as you can see, this is no simple little fully furnished place. I mean, we have all types of little trinkets in there. So this is really, really nice. A nice sized bedroom, bathroom. We have the outside part, washing machine. And this place even looks like it comes with a pool, so not bad. So when we compare the Malaysian ringgits to the US dollar, we're looking at $426.28, y'all. Talk about cheap. You literally get a fully furnished place for less than 500 bucks. So you see what I mean when I say that it's very easy to live off of $25,000 a year outside of the US? In a place like Malaysia, I would probably spend half of that because I'm so frugal and cheap, y'all. But this kind of gives you an overall idea of how your money can really go a long way in a different country. Now, obviously, depending on your spending habits or whether or not if you're single or have a family, your FIRE number might be a little bit different. So please keep this in mind. So as you can see, retiring to a place like Malaysia off of a $25,000 annual salary ain't half bad at all. Yeah. So the bottom line is, if you don't know where you stand when it comes down to the amount that you have saved up for your retirement, it's time to start figuring out how much money you have saved. And you want to make sure that you have enough so that, again, you don't have to go back to work. Now, obviously, there's nothing wrong with continuing to work if that's what you want to do. But for me, I want to retire. I want to travel the world. Life is too short. I want to make sure that I have enough money saved for my retirement, and I'm hoping that you are also working on your retirement plan as well. Now, another thing that I might need to include into my FIRE plan, I'm also interested in buying a house. So that is something that I want to look into at some point. Once I move, I want to own my own property, have my own place. So that's also very important. So again, the FIRE number is not set in stone. It's more of a guide to help you to get to where you want to be in terms of your spending. So if you need to adjust it, you can adjust it. You want to make a goal to at least have an idea of how much money you are going to need to save. This way, when the time comes, you have enough money saved up for your retirement. So at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you have enough money, period. So this way you don't run out of money. So again, that's the whole goal of this video. Obviously, when you retire, you want to retire with no debt, because you don't want debt eating into your retirement, into your savings. If you saw the last video I did, it's entitled How I Paid My Debt Off with Bitcoin. I was actually able to pay off my debt, which has been amazing, because now I'm able to take that extra money and put that into investing. So if debt is something that you're working on, I highly recommend that you get rid of it before you retire. Again, if you are enjoying this financial content, leave a comment and let me know if you want to continue to keep seeing this. Again, these are things that I'm doing in the background so that I can achieve and reach my FIRE goals, so that I can eventually walk away from my 9-to-5 and start living my life. So I'm hoping that these videos are helping you, because at the end of the day, I want us all to win. So anyway, don't forget to like, comment down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel as we drift into freedom together. See you soon. Are you trying to reach early retirement but keep hitting roadblocks? Well, we are going to discuss a few house hacking tips to help you accelerate to your goal. See you on the next video.